What's going on YouTube and Diablo 2 Resurrected fans? It's Lanfear here, bringing you some more Diablo 2 Resurrected content. And today we're going to be chatting about the patch 2.4 developer notes that were released the other day. And there's a lot of exciting stuff that's going to be happening in the game now. I'm super pumped for this. So, firstly is the ladder that will be coming soon. They were talking about a 4-month ladder, so that would be three ladder sessions per year, which I think is an awesome time frame, and I think that's going to work very well. And then more specifically as well is there's a lot of balance changes that are coming. So you can see on the slide here that there's a lot of diversity and class specific things and spells that are going to be changed, which is really awesome. So let's dive into a couple of the more specifics that are going to be happening. So the Amazon, looking at this character, they are going to have a focus on improving the melee skills that the Amazon has, as well as the passive and magic skills that aren't used quite as much as they should be or aren't as good as they should be. And then also looking at the bow and crossbow skills that are underperforming and could be better. So there's a lot of cool changes here happening to the Amazon. And then if we have a look here at the assassin, so you know that martial arts assassins really aren't that viable, and they're going to be having a big buff to the martial arts assassin so that this is actually a viable character. And the shadow disciplines, some that aren't used quite as much and could be better, will be revisited and looked at. And also, not as much, but there are trap skills that are going to be looked at as well. So again, some very cool changes there for the assassin. So for the barbarian, um, there aren't that many combat skills that are viable. You got Berserk and Whirlwind and Frenzy and maybe a bit of Double Throw, and those are going to be re-looked at to just give a bit more diversity to the Barbarian, and then as well as the leap skill, the clunkiness being looked at, and then also upping the throwing skills, because that's like a very close to viable build, but just not there yet. So then, when we look at the Druid, if you look at the elemental skill tree, fire skills are nowhere near the wind skills, so those are going to be re-looked at to make it a more viable character and build to play. And Arctic Blast has always been a terrible clunky skill that's going to be re-looked at. A few small shapeshift improvements, and then also summoning is going to be more viable because that was basically a non-usable build for this, so maybe it will match the Necromancer. We'll see. So, speaking of the Necromancer, um, there are certain summoning skills that aren't used very often because they're just not good. Those are going to be looked at. And the bone skill improvements will carry on with a scaling effect so that they are better at high level play. So those are going to be looked at. And then the specific skill weaken is also going to be looked at. So these are just some of the balance changes for the Necromancer. Then for the Paladin, he's already a very well-rounded and great character in a lot of different ways, and there are a lot of diverse builds for him. But there are few skills, Fist of the Heavens, for instance, that aren't very used very often and aren't very good, so those are going to be looked at. And then your offensive auras will also be scaling differently, going into higher levels so that they are more effective. So those are the few changes that are going to be happening to the already balanced paladin. So sorceress in general is in a good spot, similar to the paladin, and there are not too many changes that need to happen here. So the developers said that they're going to be looking at the cold armor skills to be a bit more diversified, so that you don't just use shiver armor, or those 1-point wonders, and then certain lightning and fire skills that are underrated are going to be revisited, so that's going to be very cool for the sorceress. Then a big change will be to the mercenaries in the game, and these improvements, everybody basically uses an Act 2 mercenary, and they want to diversify it so that some of the other mercenaries have some cool attributes and features and possibly auras and things that are going to give you more choice of mercenary, not just Act 2 Nightmare mercenaries like 90% of players use. So there's a lot of cool things happening with mercenaries that I'm excited to see in this new patch. The big thing that everyone is waiting to see is the rune word update. So there are going to be new rune words that happen in ladder, and these are going to use runes like Zod and Cham that weren't uh, very widely used, and this is going to open up a lot of cool things, and it's going to just be awesome to have some new items, some new rune words, and like it says, give some more reasons for underused runes like Gull, Cham, and Zod. So then again, there's going to be some item changes where set items that weren't often used because they weren't great are going to be re-looked at, revisited, and some changes going on there. So that it just creates a bit more diversity and a bit more options when it comes to how you building your character and using these set bonuses and items, maybe combining sets on your character to use two different ones or things like that. Then another very big change that's going to be awesome is there are going to be some zone changes where certain areas um, will have new like level 85 areas. So, for instance, like a spider cavern or something like that is going to be a level 85 area. So there's going to be new farming areas for characters to farm, which is going to just make the game more interesting, more exciting. And then in terms of rushing, one thing that's going to change there is the Durance of Hate. Is You're not going to be able to rush the way you did before. You're going to have to smash the compelling orb, which means you are going to have to do the whole of Act 3 as opposed to just killing the council going through to Mephisto. So that's going to change a bit. But overall, there's a whole host of exciting things happening in this new patch 2.4, and the developer notes have been awesome. I think there's a lot of great momentum picking up here with the game, and there's going to be some very cool stuff coming out soon. So stay tuned for more, and we will dive in deeper as soon as some more notes come out. So until then, please like, subscribe if you enjoyed, and we'll see you again soon for some more Lanfear'S Diablo 2 Resurrected content. Cheers, peace out.